burning the country down with their progressiveness. It started with changing what gender is, then graduated to you're racist if you think that your life matters and your skin don't have melanin. They don't want peace, they want skeletons. They want men to pretend that they're feminine. They don't want an election, they got so offended by freedom that they just try killing the president. I used to think that the woke were misguided, but now I can see that they're evil. Twitter is angry that Trump isn't dead. You know who got shot? Innocent people. Thought y'all were tolerant, thought we were equals. I thought you valued how everyone feels. Then why are y'all celebrating an attempted assassination like you're part of Antifa? Thank God the left can't aim. Thank God the right don't riot. Welcome to the home of the brave. Freedom ain't afraid of violence. You wish you was dying? Bitch, you missed. Thank God the left can't aim. Why can't we just shoot straight? Y'all are going insane. Bitch, you missed. There's no one else you can blame. Tried to lock him up in a cage.
Hey everybody, welcome to BB and Bobina's Book Nook. Welcome to the division of the vlogcast. My name is Regina Connell. Come on in. Glad you're joining me. So I will tell you, I'm running a TikTok live at the same time. I am streaming live on Rumble, on Facebook, on YouTube, and the X platform, formerly known as Twitter, for all you TikTokers, fellow Trek truckers, and yes, even all you trick truckers out there. So we are cracking open a new book today in honor of completing 2 books, Killing Kennedy, The End of Camelot by Bill O'Reilly and Martin Dugard. We also completed Killing Jesus, A History by Bill O'Reilly and Martin Dugard. On the back end of that, or before that, we had completed To Kill a Mockingbird, the Pulitzer Prize winning novel by the author Harper Lee. Currently, we are halfway through Killing Lincoln, the shocking assassination that changed America forever by the authors Bill O'Reilly and Martin Dugard. So today I decided we're going to crack open a new book. I've had enough of assassination stuff. We are going to continue on Killing Lincoln, but I thought to kind of break things up, we'd read a different book. I do have a unique advantage in this book as I have already read it, and it is amazing. I read it like in a day, and I've went back through it several times, and it is my honor and privilege to be able to bring this to you today. I only hope to pay honor and homage to the author. So we are doing Son of Hamas by Mosab, Hassan, Yousef, and Ron Brackin. I'm holding up my hand because on the TikTok platform, they have a nice little filter that you can green screen a picture or a video and then just toss your hand up there and it shows it. So it's really convenient, really nice, and I like it. So anyway, today we are going to be reading and this tale, it's a true story. I first saw Mr. Mosab Hassan Yousef on the Dr. Phil show. And I want to say that I caught wind of it through another content creator, maybe Candace Owens or someone like that, maybe even Amala. I've got to look and see how to enunciate her name, so I don't want to say it wrong, but she's pretty awesome. Anyway, so then I saw that he had a book and I immediately picked it up, and wow, I mean, it just made everything make so much sense. So I hope that you guys enjoy this book as much as I did. I know that he still actively does things. I haven't checked up to see, because this book was released in, let's see, and even since he released this book and wrote it, he has done like an updated chapter. So I was able to get the edition that does have the updated chapter in it, but still the original copyright date on this is 2011, 2010, 2011. So, I mean, oh, wait a minute. Let me make sure that's right. Anyway, he gives dates. Like, I mean, it's truly a riveting tale. So again, we're doing Son of Hamas by Mosab Hassan Yousef. I'm going to show you guys and take me down. Right hand corner. Wait, let me take the overlay off. Sorry, guys. It will reflect in the upper right hand corner what segment of the vlogcast it is. So today we are cracking open Son of Hamas by Mosab Hassan Yousef, and I'll show you. Brackin. All right, guys, without further ado, let's get this started. So, once again, I'll show you one more time. My name is Regina Connell. Welcome to BB and Bobina's Book Nook, a division of the Vlogcast. And let's get started, guys. And I will tell you, I hope you have some tissues next to you. I have set the age over 18. I think it should be for children too, though, because this journey that he started as a child. So I'll go ahead and read a gripping account of terror, betrayal, political intrigue. Let me change this filter thing. Sorry, guys. All right. Political intrigue and unthinkable choices. And I will say he had a bunch of unthinkable choices. And this is a picture of him long time ago, I will say. He looks a lot different now. Son of Hamas, Mosab, Hassan, Yousef, with Ron Brackin. To my beloved father and my wounded family, to the victims of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, to every human life my Lord has saved. That's very beautiful. My family, I am very proud of you. Only my God can understand what you have been through. I realize that what I have done has caused another deep wound that might not heal in this life, and that you may have to live with its shame forever. I could have been a hero and made my people proud of me. I knew what kind of hero they were looking for, a fighter who dedicated his life and family to the cause of a nation. Even if I was killed, they would have told my story for generations to come and been proud of me forever. But in reality, I would not have been much of a hero. Instead, I became a traitor in the eyes of my people. Although I once brought pride to you, I now bring you only shame. Although I was once the royal prince, I am now a stranger in a foreign country fighting against the enemy of loneliness and darkness. I know you see me as a traitor. Please understand, it was not you I chose to betray, but your understanding of what it means to be a hero. When Middle Eastern nations, Jews and Arabs alike, start to understand some of what I understand, only then will there be peace. And if my Lord was rejected for saving the world from the punishment of hell, I don't mind being a reject. I don't know what the future holds, but I do know that I am not afraid. And now I want to give you something that has helped me to survive so far. All the guilt and shame I have carried for all these years is a small price to pay if it saves even one innocent human life. How many people appreciate what I have done? Not so many, but that's okay. I believe in what I did, and I still believe, which is my only fuel for this long journey. Every drop of innocent blood that has been saved gives me hope to carry on to the last day. I paid, you paid, and yet the bills of war and peace continue to come. God be with us all and give us what we need to carry this heavy weight. Sorry, I get emotional with love, your son. I know what it's like to disappoint a parent. Mosab, brother in Christ. All right, so contents, map of Israel and occupied territories. So look, you guys, the whole point of a book club is that, hey, we go out and we get our own copy. You guys, please, I encourage you, go run out and get a copy of this book. I will tell you that I don't go through every part of the book simply because I want to encourage people to run out and get a copy of this book. If you're not able to get one, let me know and we'll find a way to get you a copy of this book. Mr. Mosab, Hassan, Yousef, I'll go ahead and say it. I know it's like dropping a bucket in the sea, but I know you believe in the Holy Ghost too. I would love to see you come to the table and Candace Owens, Officer Tatum, you and Vivek Ramaswamy, all of you, every one of you, come to the table together. Let's unite. And I believe you could be a pivotal piece. That's just, anyway, I've had this book for a few months now, and I always just want to pay honor and respect to the author. And this story moved me so much. And I was really encouraged to see Dr. Phil, really you and Dr. Phil, fellow Texan Dr. Phil, back to back, fighting this spiritual war, because that's indeed what it is. That's where it begins and that's where it will end. Let's not forget that. Let's keep going. And this is a map that he gives of the region. He's very detailed in the word, truly, because I was able to see that map in my head as he was writing, he and Ron Brackin. So, thank you to everyone that helped this gentleman get his story out. A word from the author, which is Mosab, Hassan, Yousef, and with Ron Brackin. Time is sequential, a thread spanning the distance between birth and death. Events, however, are more like a Persian carpet. Thousands of richly colored threads woven into intricate patterns and images. Any attempt to place events into purely chronological order would be like pulling the threads loose and laying them end to end. It might be simpler, but you would lose the design. Well said. And that goes in line with me, thinking you can't homogenize everyone, and I don't know, let's just let Musab tell it. So, wow. The events in this book are my best recollections sorted out from the maelstrom of my life in the occupied territories of Israel and woven together as they occurred consecutively and concurrently. And I understand what you're saying. To provide you with reference points and to sort out the Arabic names and terms, I have included a brief timeline in the appendices, along with a glossary and a list of players. For security reasons, I have intentionally omitted much of the detail from the accounts of sensitive operations conducted by the Israel Security Agency, the Shin Bet. The information revealed in this book in no way jeopardizes the ongoing global war on terrorism in which Israel plays a leading role. Finally, Son of Hamas, like the Middle East, is a continuing story. So I invite you to keep in touch by visiting my blog at and you know what? I will put this. Actually, let me take a pause right now because, I'll do it on the next one, but I definitely will put the link to scroll in the banner. I think that's highly important because I did go to that website and I need to revisit it, and I can show things about the website as I'm on. In fact, you know what? Let me finish reading this and then I'll do a share screen and we'll go take a look at it together. What do you think about that? And I'll flip the camera around so the TikTokers can see it. All right. So finally, Son of Hamas, like the Middle East, is a continuing story. So I invite you to keep in touch by visiting my blog at http://www.sonofhamas.com, where I share my insights on breaking regional developments. I also post updates on what the Lord is doing with the book and in my family and where he is leading me today. MHY. This is amazing. Oh, wow. Okay. So maybe I didn't go to the website. I might have went to a different one. So let me get my paperweight here. So let's I'm going to do a share screen and let's go on over to that website and check it out. Wouldn't that be cool? All right. So I'm going to go ahead. Wait, I've got to choose it first. So let's see. Son of Hamas. Oh no, I just. Oh, come on. Yes, here it is, guys. Oh, it's for sale. We could call this number. We'll have to find out what's happened. So we'll come back to it, but let's read it for now. I trust in the Holy Ghost that it'll come across my feed. All right, let's continue on, you guys. Wow. And what an eloquent writer and storyteller, you know, and as someone who has a unique advantage and has read this book before, I will say that a lot of stuff happened to him, and it's amazing that he does have the memory that he has as far as the events that happened. Is it raining out there yet? It's raining now? Oh, okay. All right. I'm on my live, baby. I'm going to read this. All right, guys. So we read a word from the author. Now we're going to read the preface. Here we go. Peace in the Middle East has been the holy grail of diplomats, prime ministers, and presidents for more than 5 decades. Every new face on the world stage thinks he or she is going to be the one to resolve the Arab-Israeli conflict, and each one fails just as miserably and completely as those who have come before. The fact is, few Westerners can come close to understanding the complexities of the Middle East and its people, but I do, by virtue of a most unique perspective. You see, I am a son of that region and of that conflict. I am a child of Islam and the son of an accused terrorist. I am also a follower of Jesus Christ. Before the age of 21, I am also a follower of Jesus. I added the Christ part. Sorry about that. Before the age of 21, I saw things no one should ever see: abject poverty, abuse of power, torture, and death. I witnessed the behind the scenes dealings of top Middle Eastern leaders who make headlines around the world. I was trusted at the highest levels of HAMAS, and I participated in the so-called Israel most facility. I was held in Israel's most feared prison facility. And as you will see, I made choices that have made me a traitor in the eyes of people I love. My unlikely journey has taken me through dark places and given me access to extraordinary secrets on the pages of this book. I finally reveal some of those long hidden secrets, exposing events and processes that to this point have been known only by a handful of shadowy individuals. The uncovering of these truths will likely send shockwaves through parts of the Middle East, but I hope it will also bring comfort and closure to the families of many victims of this unending conflict. As I move among Americans today, I find that many of them have a lot of questions about the Arab-Israeli conflict, but very few answers and even less good information. I hear questions like, why can't people just get along in the Middle East? Who is in the right, the Israelis or the Palestinians? To whom does the land really belong? Why don't Palestinians just move to other Arab countries? Why doesn't Israel give back the land and property it won in the 1967 Six-Day War? Why are so many Palestinians still living in refugee camps? Why don't they have their own state? There you go. It is not a state. It is not a country. Why do Palestinians hate Israel so much? How can Israel protect itself from suicide bombers and frequent rocket attacks? These are good questions, all of them, but none of them touch on the real issue, the root problem. The current conflict stretches all the way back to the animosity between Sarah and Hagar described in the first book of the Bible, and that makes sense. And a huge shout out to Angel Studios, man. They covered this very thing in His Only Son when they told the story of Abram and Sarai all the way to Abraham and Sarah. And Hagar's a huge part of that story. Let's keep going. To understand the political and cultural realities, however, you really don't have to look much further than the aftermath of World War I. When the war ended, the Palestinian territories, national home of the Palestinian people for centuries, fell under the mandate of Great Britain. And the British government had an unusual notion for the area, which it stated in the Balfour Declaration of 1917. His Majesty's government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people. Encouraged by the British government, hundreds of thousands of Jewish immigrants, mostly from Eastern Europe, flooded into the Palestinian territories. Clashes between Arabs and Jews were inevitable. Israel became a state in 1948. However, the Palestinian territories remained just that, non-sovereign territories. Non-sovereign territories. I wanted to repeat that. Without a constitution to maintain some semblance of order, religious law becomes the highest authority. And when everyone is free to interpret and enforce the law as he sees fit, chaos ensues to the outside world. The Middle Eastern conflict is simply a tug of war over a small stretch of land. But the real problem is that no one yet has understood the real problem. So, did you hear that, Kamala Harris? This is the real problem. I highly encourage you to read this book by Mosab, Hassan, Yousef with Ron Brackin, which is what we're reading right now. All right, guys, let's continue on. And it should, flash up periodically. And as a result, negotiators from Camp David to Oslo confidently continue to splint the arms and legs of a cardiac patient. Please understand, I did not write this book because I think I'm smarter or wiser than the great thinkers of the age. I am not. But I believe that God has given me a unique perspective by placing me on multiple sides of an apparently insoluble conflict. My life has been partitioned like the crazy little pieces of real estate on the Mediterranean known as Israel by some, Palestine by others, and the occupied territories by still others. My purpose in the pages that follow is to set the record straight on some key events, lay bare some secrets, and if all goes well, leave you with hope that the impossible can be accomplished. And I'm with you, Mr. Yousef. I believe that it can as well. All right, guys. So we are about to jump into chapter 1. And I can't remember how long these chapters are. I want to say that they're pretty lengthy. Yep. Oh, no, they're not. They're not at all, actually. Yeah, we're Gucci. So, hey, what's the time? Yeah, we might read 2 chapters at a time. We'll get done real quickly. Yeah, I think we could do that. I put chapter 1, so now let's see how many chapters there are. What you making, monkey? So that's the afterword, postscript, epilogue. Oh, cool. There's lots of juicy bits. I remember, yeah. There's 27 chapters. I love this. There's 27 chapters. Then we have an epilogue, an afterword, and a postscript. So that's amazing. All right. Let's continue on, guys. Chapter 1. Chapter 1. Captured. 1996. I steered my little white Subaru around a blind corner on one of the narrow roads that led to the main highway outside the West Bank city of Ramallah. Stepping lightly on the brake, I slowly approached one of the innumerable checkpoints that dot the roads running to and from Jerusalem. Without warning, 6 Israeli soldiers jumped out of the bushes and blocked my car, each man carrying a machine gun, and each gun pointed directly at my head. Panic welled up in my throat. I stopped the car and threw the keys through the open window. Get out! Get out! Wasting no time, one of the men jerked open the door and threw me to the dusty ground. I barely had time to cover my head before the beating began. But even as I tried to protect my face, the heavy boots of the soldiers quickly found other targets: ribs, kidneys, back, neck, skull. 2 of the men dragged me to my feet and pulled me to the checkpoint, where I was forced onto my knees behind a cement barricade. My hands were bound behind my back with a sharp-edged plastic zip tie that was cinched much too tight. Somebody blindfolded me and shoved me into the back of a Jeep onto the floor. Fear mingled with anger as I wondered where they were taking me and how long I would be gone. I was barely 18 years old and only a few weeks away from my final high school exams. What was going to happen to me? Excuse me for a moment. Well, something got caught in my throat. All right, what was going to happen to me? After a fairly short drive, the Jeep slowed to a halt. A soldier pulled me from the back and removed my blindfold. Squinting in the bright sunlight, I realized that we were at Ophir Army Base, an Israeli defense base. Ophir was one of the largest and most secure military facilities in the West Bank. Wow. As we moved toward the main building, we passed by several armored tanks, which were shrouded by canvas tarps. The monstrous mounds had always intrigued me whenever I had seen them from outside the gates. They looked like huge, oversized boulders. Once inside the building, we were met by a doctor who gave me a quick once-over, apparently to make sure I was fit to withstand interrogation. I must have passed because within minutes, the handcuffs and blindfold were replaced, and I was shoved back into the Jeep. As I tried to contort my body so that it would fit into the small area usually reserved for people's feet, one beefy soldier put his boot squarely on my hip and pressed the muzzle of his M16 assault rifle into my chest. The hot reek of petrol fumes saturated the floor of the vehicle and forced my throat closed. Whenever I tried to adjust my cramped position, the soldier jabbed the gun barrel deeper into my chest. Without warning, a searing pain shot through my body and made my toes clench. It was as if a rocket were exploding in my skull. The force of the blow had come from the front seat, and I realized that one of the soldiers must have used his rifle butt to hit me in the head. Before I had time to protect myself, however, he hit me again, harder this time, and in the eye. I tried to move out of reach, but the soldier who had been using me for a footstool dragged me upright. "Don't move or I will shoot you," he shouted, but I couldn't help it. Each time his camaraderie hit me, I involuntarily recoiled from the impact. Under the rough blindfold, my eye was beginning to swell closed, and my face felt numb. There was no circulation in my legs. My breathing came in shallow gasps. I had never felt such pain. But worse than the physical pain was the horror of being at the mercy of something merciless, something raw and inhuman. My mind reeled as I struggled to understand the motives of my tormentors. I understood fighting and killing out of hatred, rage, revenge, or even necessity, but I had done nothing to these soldiers. I had not resisted. I had done everything I was told to do. I was no threat to them. I was bound, blindfolded, and unarmed. What was inside these people that made them take such delight in hurting me? Even the basest animal kills for a reason, not just for sport. I thought about how my mother was going to feel when she learned that I had been arrested. With my father already in an Israeli prison, I was the man of the family. Would I be held in prison for months and years as he had been? If so, how would my mother manage with me gone too? I began to understand how my dad felt, worried about his family and grieved by the knowledge that we were worrying about him. Tears sprang to my eyes as I imagined my mother's face. I bet so. I also wondered if all my years of high school were about to be wasted. If I indeed was headed for an Israeli prison, I would miss my final exams next month. A torrent of questions and cries raced through my mind, even as the blows continued to fall. Why are you doing this to me? What have I done? I am not a terrorist. I'm just a kid. Why are you beating me like this? I'm pretty sure I passed out several times, but every time I came to, the soldiers were still there, hitting me. I couldn't dodge the blows. The only thing I could do was scream. I felt bile rising in the back of my throat, and I gagged, vomiting all over myself. I felt a deep sadness before losing consciousness. Was this the end? Was I going to die before my life had really even started? I don't know how many of us would not be wondering the same exact thing as this. So, you guys, as guaranteed, we read up to chapter 1. It's a very moving story. So, we are going to get back to our killing series. I am going to be getting 3 more books in the killing series by Bill O'Reilly and Martin Dugard. So, we just finished Killing Kennedy, The End of Camelot, then Killing Jesus, A History, and now we're halfway through Killing Lincoln, The Shocking Assassination That Changed America Forever. Right now, in the upper right-hand corner, we are reading Son of Hamas by Mosab, Hassan, Yousef. So we just started that today. We read all the prefacing stuff and then completed chapter 1. The chapters are pretty short, so I feel like there's 27 chapters in this book. So sometimes we'll be able to read more than one at a time. I usually like to mark them off. So then we're going to get back to, and for my TikTok community, we're getting back to Killing Lincoln, The Shocking Assassination That Changed America Forever. And then following that, we will be starting Code Talker by Joseph Bruchak. All right, guys, I thank you for joining me. This is BBN Bobina's Book Nook. My name is Regina Connell. If you are enjoying this content, please leave any and all feedback in the comment section. We will get back to you as soon as we're able to. And I'm going to be going live again. Give me about 15 minutes. And then we will read chapter 2 of Son of Hamas by Mosab, Hassan, Yousef. And then we'll get back into Killing Lincoln. I will tell you the next books in the series, the Killing series by Bill O'Reilly and Martin Dugard, I will be picking up Killing Reagan, Killing the Rising Sun. And then I want you guys to choose the third one. Tell me which one that you would like heard, which one you would like read. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Again, my name is Regina Connell. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. It helps out so much. And we're also going to be coming out with another episode of the vlogcast. I think we're on episode 8 now. So I'm going to have to go through some content creator stuff and see what's current. All right, guys, thank you for joining me one more time. And this has been...
They burning the country down with their progressiveness. It started